Hey guys, welcome back to today's Law of Attraction Mastery video lesson once again during a Diwali time. So happy Diwali to all of you. And this video is very, very special. It's a special gift for all of you because it's going to be one of the most powerful video lessons, which is going to be totally being able to double your happiness in just one practice. I promise you that you'll be able to double your happiness in just one day using this one Law of Attraction video lesson. All right. But before that, let's ask the same question that we ask in every single video lesson. What's that question? Are you using your law of attraction techniques today? Because if you're not using it, remember, it's not going to work for you, right? So did you do your visualization today morning? Did you do your affirmations today? Did you do your gratitude today? Did you listen to your affirmations today? Whatever technique you are comfortable with, you need to use that every single day. Because remember, if you're not using law of attraction, it's not going to work for you because law of attraction only works in teamwork between you and the universe. It's co-creation. It's not going to work simply by telling something to the universe and it'll work for you. No, you need to use it every single day and team up with the universe, right? So I hope you've done your manifestation today. If you've not, pause this video right now, do your technique of manifestation right away, and then start watching this video, okay? But I'm hoping you've done it today. I trust you on that. And with that, I will now start the most powerful lesson on law of attraction for today, which is what? A lot of people ask me, Mitesh, why doesn't sometimes law of attraction work for me? That's one very critical question that we've addressed many times in earlier videos, but that's still one answer. There's one more answer that you're going to find in today's video. Why law of attraction doesn't work for us sometimes. 2, how can I increase the speed of my attractions? I'm trying to attract a life partner. I'm trying to attract a job, or I'm trying to attract a lot of money in my business. How do I increase the speed of my attraction, right? And the third and the most important one, when I'm not able to attract something, what do? How do I take care of my feelings, right? Because how does law of attraction really work? If you know the formula, and I'm sure you remember the formula by now, what is it? FTBA, as if you already have it, right? Which means what? It means I need to feel, I need to think, I need to believe, and I need to act as if my goals are already achieved. I need to be confident enough every single day and feel within me that my goals are already achieved. Because if I'm going to be insecure all the time, I'm not going to attract those goals, right? So FTBA, as if you already have it. Now the problem is when people don't achieve their goals, when people are not able to attract something in their life, suddenly their feelings go down. Suddenly they start feeling insecure. And different goals give you different kind of negative feelings. For an example, if you're trying to attract a life partner and suddenly that person says no to you, you're not getting married to that person, or if you're simply not able to attract a person in your life to even get married in the first place, what happens is a lot of people go through emotions of feeling hurt, feeling sad, feeling lack of love, and all those feelings. And then obviously law of attraction won't work for you because you're vibrating at negative frequency. And people ask me, how do I change these feelings, right? Today's lesson will really answer that question at a depth which I've never answered before, okay? Another example can be in the area of business or in the area of job. Professionally, let's say you lose something or you're trying to attract something that you didn't get. What happens? People go through emotions, negative frequencies like insecurity, fear. What if something goes wrong? What if things don't work in my way? And this insecure feeling, people are not able to change that feeling. And because of that, they're not able to change their attraction. So another common question that has come to me many times is, if I'm under debts financially, and every morning I see that there is a bill on my table and I don't have the money to pay for it, how do I really feel positive that time to attract more money? Because I can see the problems right in front of me. So how do I feel positive? Again, we'll answer that more in depth today. Basically, what do you do with your feelings when you're not able to attract something, right? Now, how does law of attraction work and not work for certain people? Remember, 80% of law of attraction always works. 20% of law of attraction sometimes doesn't work because 100% of life cannot be in your control. 20% of your life has been chosen by you before you were born here, right? So 20% of your life, your struggles, is what life is all about. Life is all about ups and downs. So it's okay for 20% life not working for you. What matters in life is being able to control 80% of your life in your hands. Now, how do you really do that? Here's the most important part of law of attraction now. Coming to that. Our law of attraction works on a very, very important phenomena on the inside, which is called as your self-esteem. That's right, your self-esteem. Now, what really is self-esteem? The first understanding of self-esteem most people have, there are 2 parts of understanding self-esteem in a complete way. Most people only understand the first part, because of which we don't really understand self-esteem in the whole as complete definition. We only understand one part of it, which is what? If I ask you what is self-esteem, if I ask the word what is self-esteem, there's one common answer I get, which is the right answer, but it's an incomplete answer, which is my self-esteem is the way I feel and think about myself, right? That's my self-esteem. So if my self-esteem is only that, then why am I not able to control it? Well, that's because you don't know the complete definition behind it. The complete definition is my self-esteem is how I feel and think about myself, irrelevant of what I have and what I don't have. That's right. So for an example, how I feel about myself, if I am secured, if I am confident when I have the money, no big deal, anybody can feel that. But the moment money is taken away from me because of a business loss or because of something went wrong in the office and I lose my promotion or whatever, the moment you lose the money, how you feel about yourself at that time, what you think about yourself at that time is the true measure of your self-esteem, right? So self-esteem is not simply what you feel about yourself. It's how you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself, irrelevant of what you have in your life or what you don't have in your life, whom you have in your life or whom you don't have in your life. So that's the basic definition, the complete definition of self-esteem. Now you can define self-esteem at two levels. What are those? Low self-esteem and high self-esteem, right? So there's low self-esteem and there is high self-esteem, and each needs to be understood correctly. What is low self-esteem? Low self-esteem is when my external situations, people around me, controls the way I feel, which means if my situations are going great, I feel good. If my situations go down, I feel low. If people love me, I feel good. But if people suddenly criticize me or people don't like me or people disagree with me, I feel low. That is low self-esteem. Again, I repeat, when I'm dependent on external situations and people to make me feel good, that is low self-esteem, right? And then there is high self-esteem. What is high self-esteem? Exactly opposite. When I control the way I feel, when my feelings about myself are stable, even though things go up and down, that is high self-esteem. I repeat, when my feelings are stable internally, irrelevant of what I have, what I don't have, whom I have, what I don't have, someone loves me, someone doesn't love me, what money I have, what money I don't have. But if I internally feel confident, if internally I feel secured, irrelevant of all of this, irrelevant of life going up and down, that's high self-esteem, right? So low self-esteem is dependency on external situations and people. High self-esteem is independence. It's freedom. It's total freedom. You have zero dependency on anybody. You can feel confident. You can feel love. You can feel secured, irrelevant of what you have or what you don't have. That's true independence. That's true freedom, right? Now, let's go back to the science of how law of attraction really works. Law of attraction works when you're vibrating at what frequency, positive or negative? Well, it works at both. When you're at negative, you attract negative. When you're at positive, it attracts positive towards you. Now, if someone is having a very, very high self-esteem, and let's say things go down, right? Which means you lose a relationship or you don't attract a relationship, you lose money or you don't get money, whichever, personally or professionally, when things go down in life. If I have a high self-esteem, what will happen? Will I go down with those things? No, because what is the meaning of a high self-esteem? The definition is I feel stable inside me, irrelevant of what I have or don't have. So if I continue feeling secure, if I continue feeling loved, if I continue feeling grateful, if I continue feeling comfortable, confident in my life, irrelevant of having losses and people hating me during that time, that's high self-esteem. And what happens because of that? So the whole world is around me is negative, but inside me there's positivity because I have high self-esteem, right? Now what am I going to attract in life? Positivity. So this negative situation is temporary for me because I'm eventually going to attract positivity in my life. Plus, if my feelings are independent, which means it's not dependent on people, so sometimes I don't attract what I want. Will I go depressed? No, because what is my self-esteem? High, which means what? I'm not dependent on someone loving me or attracting something in my life or attracting someone in my life to feel good about myself, right? It doesn't mean I don't want to get married or I don't want to have money or I don't want to have a great business, but I'm not dependent on that to make me either feel confident, secured, loved, or grateful. I'm independent. I can feel all of those feelings inside me. I can feel love for myself. I can feel confident about myself, even though I fail in my life. That's high self-esteem. Because of that, even if I don't attract something, I'm absolutely fine, right? Now, what happens on the opposite side? When I have a low self-esteem, I feel love for myself. I feel confident about myself. I feel successful about myself, dependent on what? Myself or other situations. All the time. It's always dependent on other situations, other people, right? So as far as they love me, as far as things are working in my favor professionally, I'm going to feel confident. I'm going to feel happy. I'm going to feel loved. But the moment things go down, and will things go down in life? Of course. Life is full of ups and downs, guys. Life is never perfect. right? So the moment things go down in life, what's going to happen to me because I have a low self-esteem? I'm suddenly going to start feeling what? Insecure. If someone leaves me, I'm going to feel hurt and sad. I'm going to feel lack of love. I'm going to feel I'm not good enough. I'm going to start hating myself. And all those emotions will start happening. But that's not happening because things went away. That's happening because I really had low self-esteem inside me. Let me give you an example to understand that. Consider imagining a tree, right? And I've given this example earlier. It's my favorite example. A tree has fruits on the top, right? And let's say that the fruits have worms. कीड़े लग गए हैं फल पे, fruits पे. Now what happens? You call some mali, you call some plantation expert to take care of it. Now what happens is they spray some pesticides on the top of the fruits and they say it'll be okay in 2 days. Now what happens is after 2 days, after 10 days, there are still worms on the fruits. So sometimes what you do is you just pluck some of those fruits thinking you just need to take them out and maybe the new fruits will be healthier, right? You try that. You're still having new fruits, but you're still having unhealthy fruits. Then the plantation expert says maybe you need to give more money. You need to give it more water. So you give it more water. You still get rotten fruits. Then you say, okay, give it better soil. So you bring better soil. You bring better quality of soil for the fruits, for the tree, and still doesn't help. So, okay, give it more sun. So you give more sun and the fruits are still unhealthy. The fruits are still rotten. I'll tell you why. Changing the environment is not going to help change the quality of your fruits because the roots are unhealthy, right? If the roots are unhealthy, what do you need to do? You need to dig the plant a little bit at the soil level, remove the roots, put the pesticides there, make the roots healthy, and then cover it up again. And now what happens? Because of healthy roots, healthy fruit starts coming up again. Perfect sense? Perfect logic? Now here's the problem. When people come to me for law of attraction coaching, they say, Mitesh, I want a great relationship in my life. I want a lot of money in my life. I want this, I want that. And when I have this, my life will be perfect. I'll be very happy in my life. I'm trying to tell them that, and I'm trying to tell you that changing your fruits or changing your environment is not going to change how you feel. Those rotten fruits are nothing but unhappiness. Those rotten fruits are nothing but negative frequencies in your life. You will continue having negative frequency. I will continue having negative frequency in my life. Even though I change the soil, I change my environment, I bring a lot of money in my life, I bring good people in my life, but I'll continue feeling empty in myself. I'll continue feeling sad inside me if I have a low self-esteem, right? Which means my roots, my self-esteem is my root. When my roots are unhealthy, changing the fruits or changing the environment is not going to give me great fruits. Which means what? In our life, our roots and your fruits, what are your fruits? Your fruits are your results. Results of what you attract in your life. In your exams, in your relationships, in your office life, at home, in your personal life, in your physical health. Those are your fruits, right? That's your results. You keep working on your results. You keep working. We all work on our fruits, which is our results. And we keep trying to change our results, thinking that if I change the fruits, which means if I change the results in my life, I'll be happier. Doesn't work like that. You can only feel happy in your life when the roots are healthy, right? So what are the roots again? Our roots, human beings' roots, is our self-esteem. When you have a strong self-esteem and life is going ups and downs, you have a high self-esteem. Things go down because the roots are healthy, which means I have a strong self-esteem. Because of that, I don't feel low. And what happens because of that? This downs in life eventually goes up again, but I'm able to create that up attraction very soon. And my power of attracting positivity increases because inside me, I'm not feeling low when things go down because I have a foundation which is really strong. I feel strong about myself. I feel secure about myself. I feel confident about myself. I feel love inside me, even though someone leaves me, right? I know that sounds insane, but isn't that the mark of a true high self-esteem person? I'll give you an example of that. There is this one stockbroker in the world, Warren Buffett. You've heard of him, right? And this man once lost $6 billion in his life. He was bankrupt completely. He lost all his money in his life. And when he lost all the money, an interviewer asked him, a reporter asked him, aren't you depressed? I'm sure you're feeling down in life right now. And he said, no, I'm absolutely fine. So the reporter was confused, saying, you've lost $6 billion in your life and you're saying you're feeling fine. You're definitely lying to yourself and you're lying to me. And the guy says, no, I'm really fine. I mean, because who made the 6 billion? I did. Who lost the 6 billion? I did. So am I still alive? I am. So I can make the 6 billion again, right? It's not a big problem. Now, This guy, is he having a low self-esteem or a high self-esteem? Is he dependent on 6 billion to make him happy? Is he dependent on 6 billion to make him secure? Is he dependent on 6 billion to make him feel he is successful? No. Inside him, when the 6 billion is gone, he passed the test of high self-esteem. He's feeling stable. He's feeling confident. Now, the true story is, the real true story is, go back to Google, search it yourself. Warren Buffett actually made 6 billion in the next 3 years all over again. He got all his money back. So what happens? Someone who has a really strong self-esteem inside themselves, when they're not able to attract the results they want sometimes, it doesn't matter to them because their self-esteem is not dependent on that attraction. 1. 2. When something goes wrong in their life, because they have a high self-esteem inside them, they have strong roots, strong foundation, they're able to increase the power of their self-esteem and increase the power of their attraction. And very soon, that down in their life, they're able to create an up. And they're able to create positivity in their life once again and get the money back. But here's the best part. Even though Warren Buffett gets the 6 billion back, he's not dependent on those 6 billion to make him happy even now. He still feels secure and confident inside him with or without the money. Right? Now the same applies in relationships. If I am dependent on a particular person in my life to make me happy, I'm always wanting to seek happiness from that person. So as far as I have that person, I feel comfortable. The moment that person is gone, I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm not feeling love. I'm not feeling satisfied. I need this person with me all the time. So if you'll observe, new relationships have this low self-esteem euphoria where if they have a low self-esteem, we go through this euphoria where the moment that person is not with us, we say, why haven't you called me the whole day? We get angry because you start feeling low without the presence of that person. So you're dependent. That's low self-esteem. That's not really love. If you can't really love yourself, you can't really be in a love relationship with someone else for the long term. So if you want great relationships, you want a great professional life, do we need to have a strong foundation first or strong fruits first? You got it right. Strong roots, strong foundation first, which is our self-esteem, right? I'll give you another example to understand self-esteem again. Just like the tree example, I'll give you another very good example. Imagine there's a cup in my hands, okay? And this cup is our self-esteem, okay? And the water in the cup is the feelings, how you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself, all right? Now, when that cup is there, and imagine if this is a low self-esteem cup, the cup will have water coming from the inside or will always need water from the outside. What do you think? Low self-esteem is all about dependency. So it's always going to be dependent on what? Someone else giving it success, someone else giving it love, right? So the low self-esteem cup is constantly waiting for other people's approval, constantly waiting for or trying their best to make others happy so that people will then make you feel good. Because if you look good in their eyes, that means that you're good, right? So a low self-esteem person is constantly looking for approval, constantly looking to make more money, constantly looking to have more success. Why? Because only when you would have all this would you feel good about yourself, right? Now here's one more problem about the low self-esteem. Imagine this cup, while it's being filled up from the outside, has a hole at the bottom, very small hole, where the leakage is happening but very minute. Now here's what happens. The cup fills up, you start feeling good for some time, but there's a leakage, low self-esteem. So what happens? Slowly the water moves out. And what happens after that? You start feeling low again. So what do you need to do? You need to fill up again. And where do you need to go for fill up again? Somewhere outside. A low self-esteem person is always going to be dependent on someone out there to feel good about themselves, right? I'll give you an example. Say it with me. Come on, do this with me. Keep your right hand on your heart and do this exercise with me, okay? So don't just watch the video. Come on, do it with me. Right hand on your heart and say this with me, okay? I love myself. Come on, say it with me. I love myself the way I am only when someone else loves me. I love myself. Just say it with me. I love myself the way I am only when I'm successful. I love myself the way I am only when I attract what I want. I love myself the way I am. I feel happy about myself the way I am only when my life is perfect. Now, is that low self-esteem or high self-esteem? Obviously, these are weak roots, weak foundation. This is a low self-esteem. Now try saying this with me. Right hand once again on your heart and say this with me this time. And again, don't just watch the video. Say it with me. Come on, do this exercise with me. Right hand on your heart and say it with me. I love myself the way I am, irrelevant of what I have or what I don't have. I love myself the way I am, even when people don't love me. I'm happy in my life the way I am, even though I don't attract money in my life. I love myself the way I am, even though once in a times I fail. I am secured in my life. I feel secured in my heart, even though my life has less money right now. So is this low self-esteem or high self-esteem? Right? This is the mark of high self-esteem. The test of your self-esteem is not when you have attracted everything in your life. The test of your self-esteem is when you lose everything. Because that's the time, if you have high self-esteem, you pass, which means you continue feeling great about yourself. You feel secure, you feel confident about yourself. Because you're not dependent on anything in life to make you feel good. That's high self-esteem, right? But you know what? It's not our mistake. It's not your mistake. It's not my mistake. Our upbringing is like that in the culture. For an example, when you're 5 years old for the first time, you lose some marks in maths or in English or geography or whatever. It doesn't really matter. You know, when you come home, your parents teach you that if you've not got good marks, you're not a good person. You're not a good boy or you're not a good girl. You're a bad boy. You're a bad girl. Which means you need to have good marks to be happy. You need to have good marks in all the subjects, and you probably need to have better marks than anybody else in your class to deserve love from your parents, to deserve love from yourself, to be called as successful, right? So from that age, you've been trained that if you want to feel loved for yourself, if you want to be loved by other people, if you want to feel happy about yourself, if you want to have happiness in your life, first you need to be dependent on your education, right? Second, you're sitting at home and you're playing with some toy. Okay, and your neighboring auntie comes home and she says, Beta, can I take your toy? She just says it out of fun to tease you. And you're a kid, so you don't know how to lie. So you're like, nahi, ye mera khilona hai, I don't want to give you this. And mom says what? Beta, aise nahi bolte, auntie ne manga hai, de do. Because otherwise, if auntie is unhappy, that means you're a bad boy, you're a bad girl. So if you don't make others happy, you don't have any rights to be happy yourself. You're a bad person then. You've always been trained, I've always been trained, we've always been trained to depend our happiness on how others feel, right? Or how you make others feel. So all our life has always been about approval seeking. All our life has always been about doing things to make others happy. So most of us choose the line of career that we choose, the education that we choose to make others happy. If the world says there's a trend of IT engineers being made, everybody wants to be an IT engineer. Why? Because then suddenly people say, wow, you're doing IT, wonderful, you must be an amazing guy. Oh, so you want that approval because of which you're doing that. Suddenly people say MBA is a great career. So now you want to do MBA because then people come home and say, oh, wow, your son is doing MBA. Wow, amazing. And you want to hear that, right? Approval seeking. The more we are dependent on other people to feel happy, that's low self-esteem. Because the fact of life is, you cannot make the whole world happy. Life is going to be ups and downs. And when those downs come, and believe me, they will, because I have a low self-esteem, I'm going to feel what? Low about myself again. No, even if I'm an MBA, even if I'm an MIT, doesn't really matter. I'm going to feel low about myself no matter how much money I have in my life. If my feeling of success and security depends on money, people, and relationships. Make sense? Right? Some people are depressed because they have children. Some people are depressed because they don't have children. Some people are depressed because they don't have money. Some people are depressed because they have too much money. It's not about your situations. It's not about the people around you. It's about your self-esteem. If you have a low self-esteem, you're going to feel low about yourself, irrelevant of what changes around you and what doesn't. So when things are working in our favor, I will feel good. But when things are not working in my favor, when people don't like me suddenly, I'm going to feel low again. That's low self-esteem, right? So let's come back to the point. What do I need to do about this? Do I need to continue using law of attraction with low self-esteem or high self-esteem? Obviously, strong foundation, high self-esteem, because here's what happens. I get up in the morning. Okay, and I've told you that every morning you need to do visualization, every night you need to do visualization, twice at least, right? Now here's what happens. If I have a low self-esteem, I wake up in the morning, I close my eyes, and I want to visualize a house, I want to visualize a car, or I want to visualize a relationship, or I want to visualize whatever you want, right? So you wake up in the morning, and just before getting out of the bed, you close your eyes and say, God, thank you so much. I have this beautiful life partner. I have this wonderful house. I have this wonderful car. I have a lot of promotion in my office for myself. I have a lot of money in my business already attracted. Whatever, you do your visualization, right? Then you open your eyes and then you start living your life. If I have a low self-esteem the whole day, my visualizations, they don't come true. Because inside me, am I really vibrating at a positive frequency? No, it's not. So that's one of the major reasons we are not able to attract what we want, right? Or let's say I did attract something, but 80% I attract and 20% I did not. Now what happens? Even though I attracted 80% of my life as per me, as per my wish, but when 20% I'm not able to attract something as per me, suddenly again my whole life feels low because I have a low self-esteem. Do you get that now? Right? But now look at the other side. I wake up in the morning. I have a great self-esteem, which means what? I feel good about myself. I love myself the way I am. I'm confident about myself the way I am. I feel successful. I feel comfortable in my life. I feel loved in my life, irrelevant of what I have or what I don't have. Whom I have, whom I don't have. So I wake up in the morning and I do my visualization and I live my life after that. Am I going to attract what I want? Of course, because I'm full of positivity inside me. And if I don't attract what I want, do I go down? No, because I have a high self-esteem. So I continue feeling good about myself. And then what happens because of that? Positive attraction happens again, right? So those downs convert into ups very soon. So I attract things faster in my life. Now do you understand why you're not able to control your feelings when things don't work in your favor? Simple answer, friends. Because we have a low self-esteem. When things don't work in our favor, we feel low about ourselves, right? So this Diwali, I want you to really make a decision. Change your life. They say Diwali is the new year. Let this be the new year of your life, the new year of your entire life. Make a decision to have a high self-esteem. Make a decision that you're not going to die in this world with a low self-esteem, which means what? You're going to feel good about yourself, irrelevant of what you have, what you don't have. Who loves you? Who doesn't love you? Doesn't matter. You have a high self-esteem, right? If you have that, law of attraction is just going to give you amazing blessings and amazing attractions. And when once in a while law of attraction doesn't work for you because 20% things are supposed to be down in life, big deal. It'll never affect you. It'll never affect me because I have a high self-esteem now, right? You get that now? Great. But now here's the most important question going on in your mind. Mitesh, all this is good. You've been talking for about 20, 25 minutes maybe. But here's the more important question. How do I have a high self-esteem? How do I apply this lesson? Well, like every video, first I give you the lesson and then I tell you how to apply that, right? So here comes the application. Step number 1. These are simple things. These are not complicated things, but you need to do them. Remember, you need to do them. If you practice this even for one day, I promise you, how much money you have in your life or not, doesn't matter. Who loves you right now or not, doesn't matter. Today, your life's happiness, how you feel about yourself, your positivity is going to double up today, just in one day, if you do what I'm asking you to do today. Okay? So here we go. Step 1. Every morning and every night, you need to say this to yourself with your right hand on your heart. What do you need to say? You need to say to yourself these affirmations. I love myself the way I am, irrelevant of what I have, what I don't have, irrelevant of who loves me, who doesn't love me. Again, repeat this with me. Come on, do it with me. Just do it with me. Come on. Keep your right hand on your heart and do it with me. I love myself the way I am, irrelevant of what I have and what I don't have, irrelevant of whom I have or who loves me and who doesn't love me. I love myself the way I am. Now listen, if you love your child and if your child fails, you may be angry with the child for some time, but are you going to hate the child forever? No, because you love the child, right? Well, the same goes to yourself. If you love yourself the way you are, if you fail in your life and if you don't attract what you want in your life once in a while, big deal. Keep yourself happy because you deserve to be happy, irrelevant of what you have, what you don't have, irrelevant of who loves you, who doesn't love you. It doesn't matter. At least one person in the world must have unconditional love for you. And who's that one person is going to be? Now you're thinking a life partner. No. Your dad? No. Your mom? No. The only one person who's with you all the time, 100% all the time, 24/7 all the time, who's that person? It's you. It's me, myself, right? So I need to be in love with myself first. And because if I'm not full of love, how can I give love to others? Think of this example. You remember that cup example I told you? Let's come to the second part of that example now. Let's say I have a high self-esteem now because I repeat to myself every day with the right hand on my heart and I say, I love myself the way I am, irrelevant of what I have or what I don't have, who loves me, who doesn't love me, doesn't matter. I still love myself. And I feel happy about myself. I feel secure. I feel confident about myself, for myself, irrelevant of what I have or what I don't have. Okay? So now this is my cup. Now imagine a high self-esteem person doesn't have that leak. In fact, here's the example. Imagine the high self-esteem person has a source of pipe connected at the bottom, which is connected to the ocean, where there's unlimited water out there, unlimited happiness out there. Okay? That's connected to the inside of the cup. And the water starts flowing from the inside. The happiness starts flowing from the inside because high self-esteem is what? Independence. I feel love for myself, irrelevant of what I have or what I don't have. So the water's coming from the inside, right? From this cup. Now the cup starts filling up. Once the cup is full, what's going to happen to the water? Because there's an unlimited source of love inside you. when you say I love myself the way I am, irrelevant of what I have or don't have. So there's unlimited source of love coming from the inside. What will happen once the water crosses the top level? Think about it. Logical. What's going to happen? Water is going to overflow, right? So when I'm so full of love for myself that after some time, I can't make myself happy. I can't just keep that love, all that love for myself. What am I going to do? I'm going to spread the love to the world. I'm going to make everybody happy. Okay? Some people feel this is too selfish, this is too arrogant, that you love to yourself. But listen, if I don't love myself and if I don't have love inside me, how can I give you love? Right? So on the contrary, okay, I'm not saying that you're going to do everything to make others happy when you love yourself. Because if someone doesn't agree with you, but if you really want to do something, should you do it? Sure, you should do it. You should not worry about what people are thinking about you. That's high self-esteem. But then you would say, oh, but isn't that arrogance? Then you're going to try to always make others upset. No, not true. Because if I have a lot of happiness inside me, what I'm going to spread to the world? Always happiness, right? 80% of the times. But will 100% people always agree with me? No. No matter how much I do for people, people are not always going to be happy. Sometimes people will still disagree with me. But that time, I will continue doing what I love to do. Because I'm going to be true to myself. I'm going to be honest with myself. I'm going to love myself the way I am. Doesn't matter. And then some people will still not love you for that. That's all right. But because I have a lot of love inside me, naturally I will overflow that love, overflow that happiness to other people. Make sense, right? So step one, every morning, every night, before you do your manifestation techniques, before that, I want you to fill yourself with this high self-esteem by saying this to yourself with your right hand on your heart and say, I love myself the way I am. Irrelevant of what I have or what I don't have. Irrelevant of who loves me, who doesn't love me. It doesn't really matter. I love myself the way I am. I deserve happiness. I'm going to be happy in every situation of my life from now. Whether I have money, whether I don't. Whether I have loans, whether I've cleared my loans, it really doesn't matter. I deserve to be happy. Bottom line, right? That's step one. Step two. This is a little simple, but it's a little crazy step, but you need to do it, okay? So you need to go to the mirror at least once in a day. At least once in a day. You go to the mirror and you look in your eyes. You literally look in your eyes and you say to yourself, I love you. I love you. I just love you. I'm going to make you the happiest person in the world because I truly love you. Try saying this for 30 seconds in your eyes in the mirror. I promise you, it's not easy. It's not easy because you're not in love with yourself yet. You need to fall in love with the most important person in your life, which is yourself. And for that, you need to say I love you to the person to fall in love with the person, right? So say this at least once in a day. Step three, very, 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 very important step. Spend time with yourself alone. I repeat, spend time with yourself alone. Now, why is that necessary? Most people find it difficult to spend time with themselves alone. You know why? Because they're scared of being bored or lonely, right? Which means they hate themselves. We hate ourselves. We hate our own company. That's low self-esteem. So what is spending time on yourself? Okay. So hold on, guys. I think my video recording just gave me an error. No, I think the video is recording, so no problem. So practice loving yourself, making yourself happy by spending time with yourself at least once in a day. Start with 5 minutes if you have to. I personally go for a holiday for 3 days. Every 3 months, alone, all alone, nobody's with me. Can you believe that? But that's because I've learned to be with myself. I've made myself the best friend of my life. Okay? The first time I did that on a holiday, when I went alone, believe me, I was scared. I was really scared. The first day was like torture because I was trying to constantly call people, read something. I was trying to divert my mind because I was really getting bored. But then I said, no, I'm not going to get bored. I'm going to fall in love with this one person in my life whom I'm going to live with all my life, which is who? Myself. So I said, I love spending time with myself. And those 3 days became one of the most satisfying days of my life. And then I started repeating that. In fact, this month, again, I'm going for a holiday all alone, just to spend time with myself. I know that sounds crazy, but do it. At least start with 5 minutes, guys. Okay? Spend time with yourself. That's step 3. Step 4, very important. Do things that make you happy. That's right. Do things that make you happy. A lot of people don't do things that make them happy. Start doing them today. If going to a beauty parlor makes you happy, do it. If reading a book makes you happy, do it. Now, most people are saying, okay, but Mitesh, I don't have time right now because I want to attract a lot of money in my life, attract a good relationship in my life. Then I will do all this in my life. No. First, love yourself, irrelevant of what you have or what you don't have. What do you mean by love yourself? Make yourself happy by doing things that you really love to do. Are you going to really love your child and give the child happiness only when the child is successful when they grow up? No, that's crazy. That's insane, right? So why are you waiting for being successful or attracting something big in your life to give small happiness to yourself every day. Start today, right? So that's step 4. Start giving small happiness to yourself. Do anything that you love to do that makes you happy. What is that? Hey, who knows you better than yourself? You know what you need to do, right? Do it, okay? And the last step and the most important step is avoid doing things which you hate to do. Avoid doing things which you hate to do, but you only do them because you want to make other people happy. So try to not do work which you hate to do, and the only reason you're doing that work because you want to make someone else happy, because the only reason you will feel successful in your life is when someone else says, wow, you're so good at your work. So what will happen in this area is, because it's a low self-esteem, you will hate your work. And because you hate your work on the inside, but you're just doing it because you want to try to make others happy, you will always need motivation to do that task, right? But when you do something that you really love to do, whether people like it or not, it really doesn't matter. That's high self-esteem. And when you love what you do, you don't need motivation. You just do it automatically. You don't care whether people like it or not. You do it because you love to do. You fall in love with your work. You fall in love with, you're passionate about what you do in life. And that only happens when you do what you really love to do. So my request is, guys, stop trying to do things only to make other people happy. Now, don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean that you always have to go around making others angry or making others unhappy. That's not what I mean. If you have a high self-esteem, you're going to naturally make other people happy. But that doesn't mean that your happiness has to depend on their approval or their happiness. Yes, some of the things that you hate to do, you're doing them simply to make other people happy, right? Stop it. Why? Because otherwise you will keep being dependent. You'll keep doing things that you hate to do. And you'll be full of negative frequency inside you. And then I will wonder why law of attraction doesn't work for me. Why? Because I'm full of negative frequency inside me. I'm doing 80% of the day of my life. I'm living 80% of the day of my life based on what I think I don't like to do, but I'm only doing them to make others happy. And what am I getting out of that? Nothing. Negative frequency. So law of attraction is not working for me in the positive way. It's working in the negative way, right? So that's the last step. Don't completely stop it for now if you can't, but at least reduce to do things. Stop things which you don't love to do, which you hate to do. Just for the sake of doing for others, stop them. All right? So let's do a quick recap. 5 things to do. First, every morning, every night, right hand on your heart, and what do you say? Come on, repeat it with me. What do you say? I love myself the way I am, irrelevant of what I have, I don't have, who loves me or not, it doesn't matter. I love myself the way I am. I feel secure. I feel happy, irrelevant of what I have or don't have. Repeat that so you feel that. Okay, step 2, mirror exercise. Go to the mirror and say what? I love you. Come on. Go to the mirror today. After you finish this video, go to the mirror and say, I love you. Okay. Step 3, what do? You make sure that you start doing things that you love to do. You start doing things that you love to do. And you stop doing things you don't love to do. And there is one important point which I missed out in the recap. What is that? I hope you remember. What is that? Spend time with yourself. Today, after you finish this video, spend at least 5 minutes with yourself. And don't just spend time. Don't just get bored. Love yourself. Spend time with yourself. Make yourself the best friend you have. All right, guys? So happy Diwali again. And I hope this video will completely change your life, because if you have a high self-esteem, you will attract 80% of the things that you want in your life, 20% of the things when you're not able to attract in your life, because that's all right. Life is all for ups and downs. It'll not affect you. You'll be in control of your life. You'll be in control of your emotions. Okay? So I hope for you to have, not hope, congratulations. That's what we say in law of attraction, right? We don't say all the best. So congratulations, guys, for not just having a high self-esteem, very high self-esteem for you. Okay? So take care. Goodbye. I'll see you in another video of law of attraction soon. Bye, guys.